I got some feedback, unfortunately, but
Oh no.
all right. This is Tall, Dark, and still in Moscow, and
Hello.
we're just going to do a reading of the Gospel of Matthew. And Stone
Oh,
said that he wants to read the genealogies, so I got the Message paraphrase. Stone, can you just remind everyone which version of the Bible you have? The Rayam, I think. Yeah, I think Stone might have had some technical difficulties. All right. Until Stone gets back, I'm just going to read my notes. The Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 58, is a verse that talks about the deity of Christ clearly. Jesus answers the Pharisees. Pharisees believed in the resurrection, supposedly, and the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection. And both were scholars of the Torah, Genesis through Malachi. And so that verse in 58, it goes, I am the I am, Jesus says, before Abraham was anything. Cult is Spanish for church, cultos, and where we get the word culture from. Mortar in Hebrew is materialism. Testimony almost states the word money at the end. Lestes is Greek for thief or stealing. All right, I'm going to read some more notes here. Pashamer is Greek for take all your armor. Storo means stake in the Greek, cross. And Jehovah's Witnesses, they make a big deal about their claiming that Jesus was crucified on a stake, but a lot of Orthodox Christian theology says it was a cross. Salary is the word that comes from how much salt Roman soldiers were paid. Are they worth their salt? Is a saying. So the genealogy in Matthew, that was mostly written for the Hebrews, and there's a lot of the genealogy which is to be of interest of them. And the genealogies in the different Gospels differ a little. Some of them leave some out. Like the Gospel of John focuses in on like numerology and that type of thing. Tzaddik is Hebrew for someone to be emulated like Jesus or the father of Jesus. Joseph did not want a scandal. Betrothal needed a legal step like a divorce to be ended. In Luke 1, it says, do not be afraid, your reputation will be tarnished. And then the genealogy in Matthew ends at verse 18. And then it says, the birth of Jesus took place like this. His mother Mary was engaged to be married to Joseph. Before they came to the marriage bed, Joseph discovered she was pregnant. It was by the Holy Spirit, but he didn't know that. Joseph chagrined but noble, determined to take care of things quietly so Mary would not be disgraced. While he was trying to figure a way out, he had a dream. God's angel spoke in the dream. Joseph, son of David, don't hesitate to get married. Mary's pregnancy is spirit conceived. God's Holy Spirit has made her pregnant. She will bring a son to birth, and when she does, you, Joseph, will name him Jesus. God saves is a translation of that, because he will save his people from their sins. This would bring the prophet's embryonic sermon to full term. Watch for this. A virgin will get pregnant and bear a son. They will name him Emmanuel, which is Hebrew for God with us. Then Joseph woke up. He did exactly what God angel commanded in the dream. He married Mary, but he did not consummate the marriage until she had the baby. He named the baby Jesus. Now, Roman Catholics teach that there's a word that could mean either cousin or sibling. So they say that, Mary was a virgin her whole life, and that could be true. But a lot of Protestants teach that, Mary was only a virgin until she miraculously gave birth to God the Son, Jesus, his flesh. King Herod spoke Greek. Eagle was a pagan symbol. Magi was from the east. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem village, Judah territory, this was during Herod's kingship. A band of scholars arrived in Jerusalem from the east. They asked around, where can we find and pay homage to the newborn king of the Jews? We observed a star in the eastern sky that signaled his birth. We were on pilgrimage to worship him. When word of the inquiry got to Herod, he was terrified, and not Herod alone, but most of Jerusalem as well. Herod lost no time. He gathered all the high priests and religion scholars in the city together and asked, where is the Messiah supposed to be born? They told him, Bethlehem, Judea territory. The prophet Micah wrote it plainly. If you Bethlehem, in Judah's land, no longer bringing up the rear, from you will come the leader who will rule my people Israel. Herod then arranged a secret meeting with the scholars from the east, pretending to be as devout as they were. He got them to tell him exactly when the birth announcement star appeared. Then he told them the prophecy about Bethlehem and said, go find this child, leave no stone unturned. As soon as you find him, send word and I'll join you at once in your worship. Instructed by the king, they set off. Then the star appeared again. The same star that they had seen in the eastern skies. It led them on until it hovered over the palace of the child. They could hardly contain themselves. They were in the right place. They had arrived at the right time. They entered the house and saw the child in the arms of Mary, his mother. Overcome, they kneeled and worshipped him. Then they opened their luggage and presented gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. In a dream, they were warned not to report back to Herod. So they worked out another route, left the territory without being seen, and returned to their own country. After the scholars were gone, God's angel showed up again in Joseph's dream and commanded, get up, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt. Stay until further notice. Herod is on the hunt for this child and wants to kill him. Joseph obeyed. He got up, took the child and his mother under cover of darkness. They were out of town and well on their way by daylight. They lived in Egypt until Herod's death. This Egyptian exile fulfilled what Hosea had preached. I called my son out of Egypt. Herod, when he realized that the scholars had tricked him, flew into a rage. He commanded the murder of every little boy 2 years old and under who lived in Bethlehem and its surrounding hills. He determined that age from information he'd gotten from the scholars. That's when Jeremiah's sermon was fulfilled. A sound was heard in Ramah, weeping and much lament. Rachel weeping for her children. Rachel refusing all solace. Her children gone, dead and buried. Later, when Herod died, God's angel appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt. Up, take the child and his mother and return to Israel. All those out to murder the child are dead. Joseph obeyed. He got up, took the child and his mother, and re-entered Israel. When he heard, though, that Archelaus had succeeded his father, Herod, as king in Judea, he was afraid to go there. But then Joseph was directed in a dream to go to the hills of Galilee. On arrival, he settled in the village of Nazareth. This move was a fulfillment of the prophetic words, he shall be called the Nazarene. All right, so I think I'm going to stop there. There was some stuff happened. I guess Kenneth, the Christian dog, couldn't make it. He did agree to making something happen with Stone Moscow. And I think Jason Diaz, he's working, and Pittsburgh Pete, I don't know if he wants to be involved with anything KAF related. So I'm just going to stop this for now. If there's a demand for some more, maybe I'll do another one.